And joining me now in the studio is local jazz musician Gilad Chatsav, who will perform tonight in Tel Aviv as part of the event of the International Jazz Day. Thanks for coming in, Gilad.
Thank you, Oded. Nice to be here.
So, I mean, my first question to you is, why does jazz need a day? It doesn't say good things about jazz, or about the state of jazz.
Well, there is always good things in jazz. It's just a matter of who you listen to, you know. So we know that.
No, usually things that get a day are things that need some help.
You can say that a lot of old the jazz musicians, the great guys, are old, and some of them they lost their fame, and of course jazz has maybe lost the peak. But also there's a young force coming, and if we're talking about Israeli jazz, of course, Israeli jazz is surely coming.
Stronger than ever.
And we rather see this side. And if you think about it, Jazz Day is also promoting a lot of people coming together. It's a community thing. There is 700 shows in 24 hours. This is something amazing in all over the world. This is actually the biggest jazz day ever made in the world, the biggest jazz celebration ever made.
Yeah. Now, UNESCO recognized jazz for, I'm quoting here, promoting peace, dialogue among cultures, diversity, and respect for human rights and human dignity. They're kind of putting a lot on it. It's a musical genre.
Well, I think a lot of people in the United Nations care about values of human rights. Of course, jazz is also a political movement. It's started as releasing the black from slavery. It's the voice of the black guys in America in a way. Yeah. It's also a route to other culture. We see that jazz mixed with Israeli. It's mixed with classical music. It's a lot of fusion. Yeah, the word fusion comes from jazz, when you take something and you mix it with another thing. Yeah. So it's, of course, a multicultural bridge to another culture.
Now, you mentioned the strength of Israeli jazz in particular. We've had several Israeli jazz musicians here in the studio not long ago, and we see it again and again. Israelis, usually abroad, actually, who are making a name for themselves. Why is this connection? How is it created? What about jazz you think speaks to Israelis?
First, we've seen people like Avishai that will play tonight with the great Herbie Hancock, which is responsible for this project. Israeli made names for themselves in the Israeli global jazz scene. Inside Israel, there's a lot of players, actually more than 1,000 I know personally. So we know there's professional guys playing here. We lack of support in the system-wise. Culture-wise, we are there. We have a lot of groups playing together.
We have the musicians. Do we have the audience as well?
We cannot say that people are running to the jazz shows, but you know, just like classical music, I don't know when last time you've been to the concert hall of the Abima. It's always full. I think it's a matter of organization. Organization can be made with
the average age is a
also
question.
Young guys.
Yeah.
It's not true that it's only old guys.
You know, who do you think has the responsibility to sustain this? Do you think the government needs to
I think it can only be done in the field. People like me are raising awareness, and through awareness you can achieve a lot of stuff. You can achieve meetings. I'm going to meet with a few organizations that will try to help this. I'm hoping that someone up there are going to listen to what happens in the field.
How did you personally fall in love with jazz?
I had the lucky to play a blues scale without knowing what I'm doing when I was 6 years old. And after only a few years, I realized I have attraction for jazz.
You were a jazz musician before you knew what jazz was.
Exactly. It found me before I found it.
All right. Now, happily, in honor of Jazz Day, you recorded the musical segment for us that we're going to hear later in the show. What is it, though? Introduce it for us.
It's an arrangement I prepared for my own song, Bloom, it's called, and arrangement.
So we're going to have the pleasure of that later. Thanks so much, Gilad.
Thank you.
We're done for today, but before we go, as promised, in honor of International Jazz Day, we leave you with Bloom by Gilad Chatsav, who will be playing April 30th at Tel Aviv's Meshek Barzilai. Here it is. Enjoy.